Hello, I am Ragnarok, and welcome to the Reckoning. So we are back after a pretty long break. Had some, new house stuff, remodeling, new job stuff, all that stuff going on. So we had to take a short break from streaming and YouTube videos, content creation, all that stuff. But we are back with it, and of course, we are back at the perfect time with a pretty cool update from the Age of Calamitous, considerable also. So for a while, there's been on the roadmap that every faction would get a rework, basically one faction every 2 months, roughly, throughout 2020. And it looks like Cold Embrace got its turn first. And really cool thing is factions now have, well, the Cold Embrace, but factions will have sub factions. So we have two sub factions for the Cold Embrace. We have the Sanguis Unit and the Knights of the Empress, Imperius, however you want to say it. So in this video, we're going to take a look at, we're going to do the Sanguis Units showcase. We'll show the new Cold Embrace Faction Hall, or Sanctuary, or whatever you want to call it. And then we will go through the Sanguis area, and we'll briefly go into how you actually pick the Sanguis unit. We'll do another video on how to actually complete the Sanguis unit's quest line, because quest lines have now been added to the Age of Calamitous mod. And then we'll do a quick showcase on everything that comes with the Sanguis if you pick them as your faction. So their weapons, their armors, their decorations, and all that stuff. So we'll go through all that, look at the stats, the mats needed, and all that stuff. So let's get into it. Okay, so we are here at the Faction Hall, as you all have come to know. This is the Cold Embraces room. And there's your portal. So this portal's been here for a little while, but you couldn't go through it. Well, it's active now. Let's take a look. Okay, so we are now at the Cold Embraces Sanctuary, or Sanctum, or whatever. So let's run through it. I like the decorations already. The music in the hall is actually pretty cool. I really do like all the music being added to the Age of Calamitous mod. And right here we have a nice little brazier. I don't think it's actually been added, but feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below if you want that added. This room has actually come to be one of my favorites. I think it's really, really cool. I think it just fits the Cold Embrace feel pretty good. It's got these really cool statues on the side. It's got this raised platform with the knights right here. The snow and the mist. I don't know. It's just something about this room just looks really cool. The braziers, the banners at the end. Yeah, design perfect. So we have 3 rooms right here. Over there, we'll be going through that room when we do the other sub-faction, the Knights of the Empress. This room in the center has a couple of NPCs in it, basically merchants that you can make. The person that teaches you fire magic is in there. There's also a Empress contractor, and I believe there's a waiter in there also. But the room we care about is to our right. It's the red room. Now this room, I don't know. Maybe it's just the geek in me, but I get a very Sith Star Wars-y type feel from it. In Conan, I know, right? But I really, really like this room. The red, it's perfect. It's definitely what I like. This brazier needs to be added to the decorations. So again, in the comment section below, put it there. Go into the official Discord, be like, add the brazier, okay? Don't do that. But when we come into the room, you're gonna be able to, just like kind of like the faction hall, you're gonna be able to see the weapons that actually come with the sub faction when you pick them. So you got some throwing stars, knives, bow and arrow, and stuff like that. You also get to see the armor that's unique to the sub faction, which we'll take a look at a little later. You also take a look at one of the mounts and the actual saddles that go with it, if that's the case. And then right here we have Lady Errynaya and Arius. This is who you're going to talk to. There's actually a lot of dialogues. A lot of voice acting was gone into this, a lot of time and effort. There's a lot of different dialogue change. If you talk to her, actually some of them are really, really funny. Some of them might make you hate her. But she will give you a quest line. Again, we'll make a video in the future on how to do that. But it is pretty self-explanatory if you listen to the dialogue. And at the end, you get like a text prompt, and it actually tells you where to go and what to do. And then once you go there, it does the same thing. But either way, once you finish the quest line, you can come back to her, and then you're going to touch this little statue right here, and the statue is going to give you it. Now, something to say about sub-factions. First thing, you pick a sub-faction, you are stuck with it. You can't change it. There's nothing. There's no way to change it using the Pippi mod because Pippi doesn't recognize it. It actually kind of glitches out when you try to change it. It leaves your faction. If you take use one of the potions don't work. None of the potions work. Also, you cannot learn the sub factions by using like the Grandmaster potion and stuff like that. So that's something you're not gonna be able to do. You can only choose one of the sub factions. There's no way to learn both. At least currently. That may change. Also, sub factions are level 80 locked. So you have to be Cold Embrace level 80. You have to be Cold Embrace. Also, the Sanguis unit, which we are right now, is actually gender locked. So you cannot pick the Sanguis unit if you have a male character. And we have the Sanguis banners. The design I really, really, really like. This red, this darker red, and then the little lighter tones, the white skull and the black background, the rose. It's just, I don't know. It's nice. So it's really, really good design. I think it's really well received. The banner's really clean and detailed, so I like it a lot. I've been looking forward to this for a while. Stormhold currently has the fireplace, which is just a modded looking version of the campfires. And now we have the Death Cauldron. So the Death Cauldron, all it is a modded looking version of the improved cauldron. So that's all it is. It's the exact same functionality and space and all that and recipes as the vanilla improved cauldron. So your steel fire, your consolidant, all that stuff. Once you get all those recipes, you'll be able to make in here all the vanilla dyes. That's all this is. This will take the alchemy vanilla thrall and stuff like that. Pretty cool. I mean, it's different. It's it's just another vanilla station. It's a way to get vanilla functionality, but having a station that looks a little different. So now we have the Zephyras horse and the Sanguis saddle. So the horse is exactly the same, no matter which sub faction you pick. This is the live one. There is a way, and we'll show that in a future video also, how to get the undead one. That's kind of like its own quest line, if you will. But this is the horse you get with the factions themselves. One thing is, I do get asked this a lot. I got asked this before when we had pets, and I will show you real quick. Is in order to get the horse, you have to have the shepherd. So it's right here. It's in your survival, in farmer. These are Age of Calamitous feats. Right here. You have to craft this guy. Once you learn this feat right here, you can craft this guy in your hand. You can handcraft him in here, and sorry, that's wrong. I forgot there was an update that fixed that. You actually have to craft your Empress contractor or whatever contractor you have for 90 tin coins, and then the contractor will be able to craft the shepherd. So either way, make sure you have that before you can learn the horse. And the saddle, it's a red saddle. Cool. This one I really, really like. Statue. It's a cool statue / fountain. It is a fountain drink, as you can see, cooling down. It's a statue of Errynaya. Very detailed. That bow looks wicked. She looks wicked. And I like this kind of like molten metal type look. Pretty sweet. Oh, actually, I totally forgot one thing. Zephyras horse. I figured you guys might want to see stats. So I leveled it up to level 20, as you can see. Now, granted, these stats are all RNG. Same with the HP and stuff like that. But this just gives you a baseline of what a level 20 horse possibly could look like. Just in case you guys wanted to know. So we do have Raasha as the Cold Embrace decoration. That's all we used to have. Then pets started being added to the all the factions. So sub factions, same thing. So we have Raasha as a pet, and we'll check the same thing. I leveled Raasha up to level 20. As you see, kind of got some crappy stats in there, no strength. But this will give you an idea of what a level 20 Raasha could look like. And this pet is crafted at the Frost Temple Smithy, so just like all the other pets, or well, a lot of the other pets, they're usually crafted at either the Frost Temple Smithy or the Volcanic Forge. So this one's at the Frost Temple. The Sanguis unit also comes with the Sanguis die. So I just took a couple of vanilla armors. I usually like to take these specific two because they got a lot of shiny metals and some silk, some gems and stuff like that. And then we have, on this one, again, metal, some leather, some fur and stuff like that. So you can see kind of how this dye works on all colors. The Sanguis dye is actually a really good one because a lot of the like reds, specifically in the darker blues, they kind of like add shadows, so you don't see the detail. But this red kind of like, I don't know, it lets the details pop, so you can actually still kind of see all the designs and all the armors and stuff like that. So it's a really good dye that way. Okay, so we're gonna go over the armors next and the weapons. So this is the Sanguis Armor. You used to only be able to get this in the Sanguis Purge. Now you can get it for the faction. So it's pretty cool armor. It was really hard to get earlier because it was really hard to get the Sanguis Purge specifically, and then you had to get the crafting schematic for it. So it's a nice variation. Good colors and stuff like that. I really like the top. And this armor gives 550 armor. It is light, and it gives plus 12 to agility. Next, we have the Sanguis Daggers. Also used to be through the Purge. Now you get it through the sub-faction. These give 58 damage, 27 armor penetration, and plus 10 to strength. Let's get a nice little view of the daggers if we can. There you go. Pretty cool daggers. Next, we have the Sanguis Stars. This is a usable item, and it's a thrown item. If you do your light attack or your heavy attack, it just punches. What it is your control ability. So your kick and your throwing, basically ninja stars. Pretty cool. 53 damage, 4 armor penetration. When you craft them, you do get 10 in a stack. And they are usable, as you can see my numbers going down. Next, we have a really cool item. I'm actually going to go over 2 of them. We have the Howling Banshee. We'll take a look at that first. And if you're wondering what the red arrow is, that's the next item we'll show, the Arrow of Insanity. But the bow itself is actually pretty cool. It's got the little red glowy magic. Looks like a red scourged wood. Pretty cool design. Pretty scary looking, actually. I would not want this pointed at me. And those are the Arrow of Insanities. Arrow of Insanity, whatever the plural is, that I have being drawn. So the bow itself is 27 damage, 14 armor penetration, gives plus 10 to grit. The arrow, which is the Arrow of Insanity, that gives you 22 damage, 20% armor penetration. It does give a minor debuff. It's a poison debuff, so the main goal behind it is not so much to poison and take away life, it's to stop your enemy from healing. So it will, I mean, it does do some poison damage, but it's a minor poison, so it's not a lot of life. When you craft these, you do craft these in quantities of 10. However, the one kicker about this is that it has to be crafted at the Shrine of the Harbinger, which basically means you have to have blood magic and the shrine crafted in order to craft these arrows. You will not be able to craft these unless you know blood magic. So we are currently working on the magic videos. I know since the updates come out, unfortunately it was during my break, but everybody's been asking for it. They are coming. I am working on them. There's a lot of information in there, so I had to get all that details, but we will get to it. But you do need that station to craft those arrows. The next thing, which we'll go into the inventory for, is the Elarikan Plague. So, these are crafted at the Plague Furnace. Makes sense. This is a weapons mod. So, you can kind of think of this like the Bane of the Cursed, if you're familiar with that, of Thelgarth. You craft the item. They craft in items quantities of 1. So, these don't craft multiple. It's 1, whatever mats it takes, it crafts 1. You drag this onto your weapon. As you can see, it's just like a weapons mod. It's right here. Now, it's not a permanent weapons mod. You only get 10 uses. So if you hit a target 10 times, it will lose this. So this poison only stays in your daggers for 10 uses. It will cause a minor Elarikan Plague. It only stacks up to 3 times. So you're not going to be getting a 10 stack on somebody and insta-killing them in PvP or anything like that, or even in PvE. You're only going to get 3 stacks. It does do a lot. I mean, it does do a lot, but these things are really expensive to craft. So this is not something you're just going to go out into the wild and kill some wolves with. You're going to save these for like bosses and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Also, this will not work on every weapon. That's the kicker. They're mainly used for daggers. Can it be used on bows? Nope, they can't be used on bows. Actually, you know what? Let me spawn in some weapons real quick, and we'll see what weapons they work on. Hold on. Okay, we're back, so let's take a look. So we have the daggers. We know it's on the daggers. We just tried to drag it onto the bow right before we walked away. Can't do it. Maces? Yep. Or hammers? Yep. Swords? Maces? Spears? I would say try this. They're not. It's not meant to be. This is actually the first time I've tried it on all the weapons because from what I know, it wasn't supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to work on every weapon. So I am on a single player server. Try it on the multiplayer server. See if it works. There can sometimes be a minor difference on the functionality, or maybe it's just a glitch. So maybe in the future this is patched out and fixed, or their mind was changed and they decided to make it so you can put it on all weapons. So, from what I understand, it was only supposed to be a couple weapons. We'll see what the future holds. You never know. But either way, 10 uses. And what we're going to do is we're going to go. Let's do the blades first. Oops, that's not what you do. So as you see, those are blades. We're going to do the arrow so you guys can see. There's your minor poison. See how many stacks. Should be 10. There you go. Only 10. Which, yeah, there you go. So we'll take a look. We'll see how much the life drains. Now this is a Stormhold General. So this is the tier 10 Stormhold NPC. So pretty strong. Highest amount of life you're going to get out of one of the faction. Not too bad. So now let's get these daggers out. And 1. As you can see, no more than 3 stacks. And if I keep hitting her, there you go. It's no longer on my weapon. I got 10 uses. Let's take a look to see. Granted, I got 4 bleed on there, so. As you see, it's not taking away a lot of life. It's just taking away a decent amount, though. Okay, so the next thing to note about these sub-factions is if we go there, when you learn your sub-faction, you learn this right here. Sanguis Unit shows all your nice little items that you get, everything I've shown so far. And at level 120, you actually unlock more. So every sub-faction, at least currently, will have 2. The level 80 that you get right off the bat, and then the 120 you have to unlock it after you level. So for these, we have 3 items. The Sanguis Armor, the Elite Sanguis Armor, and then the Elite Sanguis Daggers, and the Elite Howling Banshee, so the bow. So you're not getting the Elite version of the Throwing Stars. It's pretty cool. The armor actually requires you to actually have the base version of the armor crafted, and then you're going to craft it like kind of an elite, better stats and stuff like that. So, for example, the Elite Sanguis Armor has a plus 15 to agility versus a plus 12. It has 845 armor versus 550, so it's higher armor. The durability is a lot higher. For example, we can show one off. So this is the normal Sanguis top, 2200. The Elite Sanguis top, 3200. So you're talking about 1,000 more on this one piece. So same with the daggers. Let's see. Sanguis Daggers. Well, I used them. I think I want to say it was like 4,800 versus 5,000. So that one's not too much. But for example, with the Sanguis Daggers, you get 65 damage with the elite ones versus 58 with the regular. 30 armor penetration versus 27, and 12 strength versus plus 10. So Howling Banshees 30 versus the 27, 15 pen versus the 14, and plus 12 grit versus the 10. So pretty cool that they've added some like tiered weapons and armors. I'm sure that's going to start happening with a lot more stuff. It actually has happened with a couple other things that you get just in the Cold Embrace and some of the other factions themselves. So that's kind of cool. You'll start being able to upgrade armors and weapons and get multi-versions, so you don't just have like that starter armor that you get at level 1 and then you don't use it past like level like 15 or 10 or whatever because it's useless, it's so weak. Now you can upgrade as you level. So that's kind of cool. Nice little feature added. But the Sanguis unit, I'm definitely going to be using them. I think they're really, really cool. So that was a look at the Sanguis unit, the first of the 2 sub-factions added to the Cold Embrace. The cool thing is that I actually filmed both these videos, the Sanguis unit and the Knights of the Empress, at the exact same time. The video ended up being really long, so I split it in half and then just recorded a quick brand new outro and intro. So the videos are actually essentially will be done pretty much the same time because that one's actually already edited. I just have to edit the outro. And then, so I'll probably release the second of the sub-factions about a day or 2 behind this one whenever this is released. So stay tuned for that. Definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't so you get notified the second it drops. Also, feel free to leave in the comment section below, you know, what are you excited about this faction, if there's anything you liked or didn't like about this faction, sub-faction. Also, let me know if you're going to choose, you know, this Sanguis unit or the Knights of the Empress. Also, if you really want to see those red brazers or the blue brazers, put that in the comment section below. Otherwise, I want to give a huge shout out to our Patreons, and especially the elite supporters. I really do appreciate you, especially since we took a month-long break, and the continued support. Really do appreciate it, as well as a thank you to all of you for the amazing amount of subs, continued comments, views on all the videos, and likes and all that stuff. The break was necessary, but I'm glad I'm back, and I'll definitely got a lot of really cool things in mind, magic videos and a bunch of other stuff coming out. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, hit that sub button. Also, if you're interested, we have an amazing Discord channel. Link for that is in the description below. We have community servers that we play on, so if you're interested in looking for a server, join the Discord channel. Information's in there. Also, we stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/RagnarrockLive. Link is in the description below. Definitely come check that out. Otherwise, thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you on the next one. And as always, fear the reckoning.